So it seems like I keep getting asked this question more and more often, and I think I know why. It's because more and more people are kind of like marketing this sort of buzzword. But in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what the difference is of local wholesaling and wholesaling houses virtually. And I get asked this a lot whenever it comes to talk, like people ask me like, hey Devin, how can I get into virtual wholesaling? Or like, hey Devin, does your course cover anything about virtual wholesaling, getting inside of that? And I just want to put this all out there so that way everybody understands what the difference is. And you maybe actually be surprised as to what the difference is. So the reason why this question gets asked more and more, I feel like, is because first of all, Wholesale to Millions, that's his main way of doing wholesale deals, is he does virtual. And he's become bigger and bigger, so more and more people are starting to see that, hey, virtual wholesaling is an option. So I want to get into that because I see a lot of people having success in virtual wholesaling. And then I know, for example, as well, Jalen White, he has a course as well where he named it like virtual wholesaling mastery or something along those lines. And basically really leveraging that buzzword of virtual. And so nothing against either of these two people. I appreciate the content that they put out there and everything and think they're great people. But the thing is, and I don't think like this comes across the way that it should, is that really at the end of the day, there really isn't any difference between local and virtual other than a few aspects. And so the funny fact is as well is you can do local wholesaling and virtual wholesaling at the same time. So you can do local deals completely virtual. Never have to go see the property, never have to talk to the seller, never have to do anything physical, and you could do it like right down the street. It could be like the house next door, to be honest, and you could still do it virtually, never meet up with them. Although that would be awkward as hell buying a house next door, but and then never talking to the owner of the house, but in person when you live right next door. But you guys kind of get the point. So it became a really big buzzword in a sense. It sounds way more exciting than what it actually is. There really isn't all that much of a difference. Now, obviously, this really kind of stands out a little bit to those that are a little bit more introverted, or if you're coming from watching a lot of people in the online space, you see, like if you're talking about, let's say, social media marketing or drop shipping or Amazon FBA, different businesses like this, they're all online. You never have to talk to anybody in person. You can do everything all off of your phone and off your computer, and you can be able to make tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you kind of see why it's super appealing. But when it comes to virtual wholesaling, it's kind of like the transcendence of all this online stuff. But at the end of the day, there really isn't that much of a difference. And here's the differences that actually exist between the two. Because like I said, they're very similar, but what actual differences are there? And what are the similarities that show up in both of these? So first of all, when you're doing virtual wholesaling, you're never meeting up with the seller. You're never talking to them in person. You're doing all the deal entirely over phone and email. And then usually like the buyer as well. You never have to meet up with them. You just send them the deal and get that all moving forward and everything. So on top of that, like what really do you have to do different other than that part as well? So what this means is you doing virtual is doing everything all out of email and phone. So that means getting on the phone with the seller, pre-qualifying the seller, running all the numbers through with the seller, signing up the deal over the phone after you've gotten enough information. And then what you're going to do is send the contract via email instead of obviously signing it in person. You just send the contract via email using something along the lines of DocuSign, or they have like a lot of other online contracts services, softwares that you can email contracts and then it'll verify everything when everybody signed it. And then you just get everything sent out all within online and over the phone. And the funny part is that, like I said earlier, you can do this 100% like in your own local area. It could be a house down the street, and you just tell them like, hey, I'm unable to go see the house. And then what you usually do is you have them send you pictures versus going in and looking at yourself and then taking the pictures yourself to show to buyers and everything for your marketing, and doing it all that way. On top of that, as far as like anything else really, there really isn't that much of a difference. Title companies, as far as they go, if you're wholesaling houses inside of a different state, you'll have to get a title company inside of that state that works with you. if you work with a title company that has franchises or offices all over the world or all over the country. For example, one of the title companies that we use is called Pioneer Title. They have a couple title companies all over. Or Title One is another big one that's kind of nationwide. They have offices everywhere. So if you work with one of those companies that has nationwide title, like they have offices all over the country, then you can do deals through them, and it's not that big of a difference. You can go in person and sign the deals at a local office or something like that. Or a lot of times they have technology to where they can just do everything online, or if you really need to, you can get a notary or a mobile notary for all these contracts that you're getting signed. So even if you're working with people that aren't very technologically advanced, you can get a mobile notary, which they send someone out there to notarize the contract and everything if they aren't comfortable doing DocuSign or something like that. But other than that, everything that I've listed out is really the only difference. Now, when it comes to local wholesaling, you physically going out there and doing wholesaling in person, which maybe you should come up with a different name for it instead of local, so it has its own buzzword. But what you do different is you're just pre-qualifying over the phone, kind of getting all the basics over the phone, just making sure that you have enough information for them to be a solid lead, them being a hot lead or motivated seller, and going out there and meeting up with them in person. And obviously this takes a little bit more like personality skills, just being a personable person, just being able to have a good appearance, showing up. But other than that, that's really it. And I actually feel like it's a lot easier to do deals in person, just because it's easier to kind of build up this relationship, because it's more like face-to-face, belly-to-belly. Whereas when you're on the phone, all you have to work with is your own voice and using the tone of your voice and being able to say the right things at the right time. And that's really all you have going for you. Whereas in person, you can use facial expressions, you can kind of read the person and do all these other different things that you don't have the luxury of doing over the phone. And then obviously contracts, you could still do it like you do virtual. You can use DocuSign, which I've done that for local deals where we've met up with the seller. Or you can obviously do just print off a copy of a contract and then send it, and then just have them sign it and everything like that. And you just get them to sign a purchase agreement. And then usually the buyers, I do all that stuff like online. I never meet up with the buyers in person to get everything signed up and sent over to the title company. But other than that, that's really it. I mean, your marketing, it stays the same. Obviously, if you do virtual in a different area, if you do something along the lines of like bandit signs, you'll have to hire someone to go put them up. If it's in your local area, you can put it up yourself. But every other marketing strategy is virtually the same. I mean, cold calling or something along the lines of direct mail or Facebook ads, online marketing, social media marketing, all of these different tactics, literally everything is the same. So now, if you were trying to get into virtual wholesaling, just understand it's literally the exact same thing. You just do everything through email and through your phone. Other than that, there's no difference. So if you had any questions whatsoever, hopefully I answered them inside of this video. And then on top of that, for the people that ask me, does my Wholesaling ASAP cover virtual wholesaling inside of it as well? Yes. I mean, I give you all the different tools that you can do it all online. I never specifically say, hey, this is specifically for virtual wholesaling. But literally everything inside of there is the exact same as for local wholesaling. So I do give an extra module or video inside of there. I do cover how to meet up with the seller and in person and all this stuff and getting them to sign a contract. But you can easily, if you just remove that one video, it would literally, I could name it Virtual Wholesaling ASAP or come up with some sort of name like that, and there really wouldn't be any difference whatsoever inside of there. So if you are wanting to jump inside of Wholesaling ASAP and you want to do virtual wholesaling, jump inside of there and we can get you all set up with everything inside there for doing deals virtually. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys. If you haven't already, join the fam, join the gang by hitting the subscribe button down below. Also, if you smash the like button, that would be highly appreciated. But anyways, like always, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.